Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm up on our rooftop again. Yeah, I know, another plug. But look, the bar's open this week. Emma's got the bar and the restaurant all working. So, hey, come along, see the rooftop. Now, my last video was kind of interesting. I threw that together and wanted to talk about what was actually open here in Bohol and in PANGLAO. I mean, looking at a radius of about 1 kilometer from where I am right now, there's 40 or 50 restaurants, probably more, that are actually open and giving really good service and really good food to people. So I mean, there is a really good opportunity for people to come down here and have a great time. I mean, there's so much stuff that's open, it's great. Now, I did get a really good reaction from everybody. A lot of people thought it was very positive, and they were saying to me how it was nice to see Alona Beach open. But I did ask a question in my video, and the question was, Alona Beach is open, where are you? Now that to me was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek play on the fact that, the local government here have put some rules into place. People think that there's a restriction to flying, and of course they're quite scared of COVID, which is relevant in this day and age. And I did get some interesting responses to that question. So one or two of those responses were quite interesting, where they were saying, well, it was a bloody stupid question, we can't get there. So I did a little bit of research. Look, if you're overseas, it's difficult to get here. That's simple as that, right? You're not going to come to Philippines. It's really, really hard to get here. Unless you're a Filipino coming back to the country, or you're married to a Filipino, or have like children here, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get back to Philippines. There are a couple of visas you can have, like the balikbayan visa, married to a Filipino. You might have the permanent residency, which I spoke about a while ago, the 13A visa, or the seniors visa, the SRRV visa, I think it's called. So all of those things allow you to come in, but normal tourism, it's a little bit hard to get back in here. If you're a business person, you can get into the country, but you got to jump through a lot of hoops. I was more talking about those people in the country wanting to travel and they don't know how to get here. Now, you can travel to Bohol. You can fly into PANGLAO airport. There are some restrictions, there are some rules of course, but you can actually fly here. Flights are reasonably cheap at the moment too. I've seen them as low as 88 pesos, which is like $3 Australian. So I mean, they are trying to get people to fly. One of the good things about the flights, and check your flight provider, is that they've got unlimited changing of the date, so you can actually rebook your flight over and over again. If there has been some sort of outbreak, you can rebook. Yay! Now the other thing too, if you do want to fly, you've got to wear a mask, you've got to wear a face shield. Simple. If you want to fly, follow the rules. How hard is that? And it's the same as coming into Bohol at the moment. So you've got to think about that too. So, first thing, you need to have a PCR or swab test within 72 hours of you flying. Not 72 hours of you booking, 72 hours before you get on the bloody plane. Right, that makes sense. All right, so they want to check that you've got a negative test before you come here. So let's go through a few things that you need. I've been to the local boholtourism.gov.philippines. I'll put all the links below for you so you can check it. So who's allowed to come to Bohol? Bohol is open to domestic tourists and residents of the area, as long as they go and get that PCR test, right? The PCR test, sorry. So you get a saliva test or a nasal test, and you can come in within 72 hours of having that. Coming into Bohol, you can come into the ports, or you can come into PANGLAO International Airport. So here's where it gets a little bit tricky. The Bohol Tourism and the local government, what they've done is they've actually set up accredited Bohol hotels. So when you're booking, you need to actually book and have a receipt for a booking at an accredited hotel. Now you can go to the website, I'll put the link below, and you can check which hotels are actually accredited with Bohol tourism. You need to do this, guys, right? It's important. It doesn't mean that it's any more expensive or anything like that. So you make sure you get this confirmed booking. If your booking's cancelled for any reason and you have to rebook, you still need to get another PCR test or swab test within 3 days of the next booking. You can't just use that same one. Anytime you travel, it has to be within 3 days of that travel date. Now, how much do these tests cost? They cost between $2,000 or $3,000, but I have heard that they can be cheaper if you've actually organised the booking and set it all up through the tourism department. But just make sure you check it before you leave. It's easy to go to the PANGLAO tourism site. It's easy to check your local government sites as well to see what's going on. You need to get an online registration for what is called a QR code. Now, QR code's that little box thing with all the little dots in it. You need to get one of these. Now, you go to the tourism Bohol website. You fill in all your details, name, address, flight details or boat details, your registration details of where you're staying, any tours that you're doing is all on this long form. Once you fill this form in and all the details are set up, it gives you that little QR code. That little QR code is kind of like your ID code for checking where you're going and where you've been. They can check that anytime. It pops up on your phone or you can print it out, whatever you need to do. You get a personal QR code, and the personal QR code is for each tourist, so each person, not for a group. If you're booking tours as well, that UBE sticker, that DOT accreditation, all of the tour operators must have that. So basically what they're trying to do is to get you to book everything through the Department of Tourism here. You can get your accommodation provider to pick you up from the airport, but all of the tours and everything need to be done through the DOT. The other thing that you can do is actually download that TRAZE app as well. Now, TRAZE is for the contact tracing. It's to show that where you've been more than where you're going. Venues are trying to take this on, but to be honest with you, I haven't really seen it much around. Emma now has this little card which has her own little QR code on it, which is basically the tracing. Now, what you do need to do when you're here is make sure you follow the quarantiners, wear masks, wash your hands, do all the right things, you know, social distancing. You need to keep that in mind while you're traveling around anywhere, to be honest with you. For me, I don't really leave the house too much. You do see me get around a little bit. I walked along the beach the other day. I've always got a mask with me. It's just that when I'm on camera, I take that mask off, but I'm always social distancing. I'm always miles away from most of the people that are around me. At the moment, I think the hospitals and the banks are the only ones where you have face shields, but I'm pretty sure that ICM, the big shopping center that I went to the other week, they've got the face shields in place as well. So keep that in mind. So if you're going to travel around, there are some restrictions. Be safe. You're coming here as a tourist, so do all the right things. When you're going to a restaurant or a bar, you need to also follow the right protocols. That means using the TRACE app or writing your name and giving some details, cleaning your hands, wearing a mask, observing social distancing. If you do want to travel and you do want to get about, there are some deals to be had. You just got to jump through some hoops at the moment to come to Bohol. There is so much that's open down here. I think you can come here. I know I'm going to get a lot of people going, oh, but it's too hard, or oh, that seems like a lot of things to do. Guys, I'm not here to argue that point. I'm really here to show you that place is open, right? There's so much going on. There's so much to do around here. I've talked to a lot of the local business guys around here, foreigners and locals, and they're just saying, look, we're open, where is everybody? So come on down. As I said before, Emma's bar is open. Look at Unk's house. We've got this little place at the top. We've got nice tasty food, and all of the food that Unk's house serves you is the food that we eat here. I mean, seriously, I've been coming here for 4 years.